There's another little piece. I think that's got some translucency. That'll make a nice little arrowhead. Looks like it's got a couple of cracks running inside it, right there on the edge. Hopefully that's not going to be too bad. On the bottom as well, you see a crack running up. Also seems to be very brittle. It's smooth, but the flakes tend to break instead of just run off. I feel it's sticky, so I cut myself somewhere, but I can't see from where. Oh, okay. Little pinprick. So another kind of interesting note is I didn't bring my chair today, so I'm sitting on this log, and that angle on my legs is very is very different. I guess the chair is a bit lower to the ground, so my knees are higher up, and I feel that difference. It's kind of, it feels awkward. I guess I need to start working on different height chairs and odd stuff like a log every once in a while, just so that I'm not tied to my one chair. So I've got a bit of a square edge on this end, right here. So what I'm going to do is, instead of working that with percussion, because it's such a thin piece already, I'm just going to kind of zigzag with pressure flaking, just so I can get that edge off, and then I'll have a look and see if it needs any more percussion, or if I can go straight into just pressure flaking. Let me change angles while I'm at it. I guess another interesting little tip is when I'm knapping on a thin, longer piece, especially when it's on the point of an arrowhead and I'm using that gap on the bottom in that flaker, or the pad, my bad, instead of holding it in the middle and flaking down that it's unsupported, I'll slide it over to the edge, so that the edge or the corner of the pad is supporting the tip. That way you can knap down on it without risking, or with less of a risk of breaking that tip off. I'm dropping all my tools. So I've got a little bulb down here, or bulge, thick spot. So I'm going to try and hit that off with percussion, and then I'll move to pressure flaking. So that didn't quite take. So it just knocked a crack into it instead of taking the flake off. Let me try again. Yeah, a bit better, but not quite. And again, just knocking that little flake, but not releasing. There we go. Going to go back to pressure flaking for that. And a little thick spot on the side. There we go. Okay, so I've got this little, like a triangular shape sticking up and like an edge, and then I stepped and crushed that edge up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this whole section down here off, kind of run the line of the edge of the point, bring that whole edge in, then I can get to that step, and then I'll also finalize the shape that I'm going to get out of this arrowhead. So right now I've pretty much got the basic shape down. Now I'm just trying to straighten out the point. So if you look at it from the side, I've got a thicker section on this side and a little bit of concave on the other. So I'm going to try and knap towards that more bulbous side to straighten out that point. Hopefully without removing too much material. I think that kind of did the trick. I'm a little bit undecided of where I want to put notches into this piece. So I don't know if I want to put them in the base or corner or just a side notch. So if I put corner notches in, I'll lose a lot of the width from the base of these corners. So I think I won't do corner notched. Side notches are too boring. Let me do basal notches. Make it interesting. So just quickly indexing that base to where I want those notches. And then I'll move to a flatter pad and a thinner pressure flaker. Start working those notches in. So I've got this little step up here, which is kind of standing a bit proud of the rest of the point. So when I've got it on my pad, it's kind of rocking on that little knob. So I'm just gonna grab my steel flaker, just grabbing onto that edge and pulling it out. So I'm pretty much just setting it on there and pulling, or pushing down and pulling, and hopefully I can snap that off without damaging the point. Let me get the bigger flaker or pad. Give me a bit more space. Let me see, maybe I can take it off from the side. Ah! It feels so good when your plan works. Back to notching. So, some basic notches in there. I think what I'm going to do is I'll make these more fine, thin, turn these more into bobs than just a base. I think that'll look nice. Give it a shot. The trick is to not break off bobs. That would be unfortunate at this point. Maybe deepen that a little bit. I think that looks better. Quickly working my way up the edge, just getting rid of any high spots, low spots or divots. And I guess kind of sharpening it up as well. And then again, being careful when you get up to the point. Don't want to snap that tip off. Otherwise this will look very, very stubby. The sun's doing an excellent job of highlighting for me. Okay, so that point is just tipped over to one side a little bit. So I'm just going to straighten that out and that should be it. Yeah. I'm quite happy with that. Also got some really nice translucency. See if I can get the sun to shine through it nicely. There we go. Oh, that's nice.